Summation Lesson 2. To harken back to early in the year, you need to think about what is this thing we call human nature? And what is the nature of the world or the universe? Is human nature something that we can count on to save us? Are people willing and able to be wonderful all the time? And whenever they choose not to be wonderful all the time, it's a surprise. Or are people fundamentally flawed? Is our nature a nature that is more similar to a devil than to an angel? Do we see the true face of humanity in first love's first kiss? Or in a little child smacking his brother, taking his toy and saying, "Mine"? What are we? And who are other people? And what are we capable of? There are many ways that people study human nature. Art is an expression of it. Literature explores it through fiction. Psychology explores how past traumas and wonders can affect a person's future development. Philosophy allows us to range freely through our world and try to figure out what it all means. Law tries to shackle and control and channel us. History, my discipline, is the least theoretical of all of them. But as history studies what people have really done over thousands of years of time. A psychologist can theorize. A philosopher can philosophize. A theologian can pray, along with the rest of us who happen to pray. An artist can express. A writer can explore. But history shows what we really do, what we really have done. It's the difference between the kind of person that you want to be, the kind of person that you're afraid of being, and the kind of person that you actually are. History explores what we actually are. The legal system explores, and psychology explores who we're afraid to be, and philosophy and theology explores who we wish we could be. Is it your conviction that human beings are basically good if given the chance? Or is it your conviction that human beings are basically evil, but have the opportunity to rise above that by the grace of some divine power and through a heck of a lot of effort? Most traditional pre-industrial societies say that human nature is depraved, demonic, and some other D words for bad. And that people need to try really hard to overcome their base instincts to become something like good. And most of these pre-industrial societies have a religious context in which a person can make this struggle against the dark nature inside in order to become something other than scum. From the industrial period, we have a new set of ideas that say that people should go out of their way to get rid of all that pre-industrial tradition, that we should design a bright, shiny, new and improved society, and if people don't have problems, then they'll just be angels. And this is where utopianism, socialism, communism come from. The belief that people can imagine utopia, design it theoretically, chart their way from our stinking world to their wonderful millennium of utopia and live there as people. It might be obvious that I am of the pre-industrial belief system that says, human beings, watch out. We're capable of wonderful things, but only if we try to resist the dark hearts that each of us have as part of our makeup. If you doubt that we have dark hearts as part of our makeup, think about the last time somebody made you out of control, angry, furious, outraged. That's part of you, part of me. It's something that most people try to control. If you believe that human beings are basically good and that they learn evil from society, then you will probably fall on the progressive, liberal, left, socialist, or communist side of the spectrum. And that you will say that society is the problem and that we can save future generations by fixing society and redesigning it so that people never learn evil. They never have wants. They never get desperate. They never are activated as animals. But instead, they live in peace and harmony and plenty. And the better angels of their nature are the only things that a person learns. That people will never learn war anymore, as the old poem in the United Nations says. So that, if you want to understand liberalism, is basically what it says. Human beings are basically good, society is bad, fix society and you'll fix people. Conservatives tend to hearken back to the pre-industrial religious ideas that say that human nature is a problem. Society can help encourage good in people, but society alone is incapable of reaching inside a person's head and going doot, 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 and fix, oh, what an arrogant thing to say, fixing somebody's broken mind. If you are a traditionalist, a conservative, even a libertarian, you believe that people make choices and those choices determine the outcome of their lives. And that sometimes even good people make bad choices. Sometimes people make wrong choices, but sometimes people make evil choices. And even good people can be capable of being seduced into or tricked into, or for a moment just deciding, you know what, I'm losing control, I'm going to act out in badness, bad, bad, bad. If you follow that basic approach to understanding human nature, you will tend to be more willing to punish criminals, more willing to see childhood as a training ground where moral lessons are learned and where young individuals test themselves against the challenges of life. Whereas somebody who believes that people are basically good believe in easing the way through childhood so that people grow up without having to ever have become truly angry about anything. Conservatives think, no. You learn how to fight for your identity. You learn how to fight for your beliefs. Maybe you learn how to fight to defend yourself. Maybe you learn how to deal with bullies some other way. Maybe you learn how to control the bully within. But if you don't experience trauma, trouble, skinned knees, disease, and ostracism at some point in your childhood, when you experience those things as an adult, you're going to be completely incapable. So fragile, you're like a little glass doll. So this is something that you deserve to think about and come to a conclusion about. By all means, come to a different conclusion than old, overweight, bearded, baldy Mr. G, because why not? I don't care what you conclude, but you have to consider the question, are people basically good, warped by an evil society or a fallen society, and you fix society, you can fix people, which is basically a left-wing post-industrial contention? Or are people basically born like animals, vicious creatures who need to grow up and learn that they can aspire to a better way of life, but they're going to have to fight their way through as individuals. If you believe people are basically good, you can accept the notion of what is called collective salvation, where you can save other people despite themselves. If you don't believe people are basically good, you believe in individual salvation for those people who are willing to open themselves to the possibility of changing. So, who are we? Are we angels in human flesh? Are we devils in human flesh? Are we both? Should you try to free human beings from tension? Or should you try to bring children through a series of ordeals that will make them strong and resilient? Come to a conclusion.